I want to be very clear, we don't really have an opinion on Bitcoin, but the question comes up a lot. I know you have some strong opinions on Bitcoin. How do you see that?
Well, we're still recommending Bitcoin. We started writing about Bitcoin 9 years ago.
Okay.
And originally we recommended investors put 1% of their portfolio into Bitcoin, or 0.5 into Bitcoin and 0.5 into Ethereum. And at that time, what we had written about was that even if you don't believe in blockchain and the security of the Bitcoin network, 90% of the move in Bitcoin was explained by just two variables, the number of wallets and the activity per wallet. And if you projected that out, we thought Bitcoin could get to 25,000 by 2022, which was like a 20x gain. It turns out it hit 22,000 in 2022. If you do the same math for Bitcoin now, the number of wallets could still rise by a pretty big, what they call a log function. And, Bitcoin could get to, I've heard numbers like Michael Saylor yesterday said 13 million. They're not crazy numbers for Bitcoin if it becomes a mainstream form of financial transaction. But here's the interesting thing. Our 1% allocation, when we first recommended it, today is over 40% of someone's portfolio. And if they did 0.5 in Ethereum and 0.5 in Bitcoin, it's 80%. So I still think it makes sense to put 2% into Bitcoin. BlackRock is recommending arguably a larger allocation. I mean, it has become an asset class, and it's your hedge, because in the event that the dollar becomes questioned or sovereign, the sovereignty of an individual, then Bitcoin could have a huge step function move, and it makes its gains in 10 days a year. So if you don't own Bitcoin and just sort of hold it and forget about it, you're going to miss out on most of the gains.
Do you have a target for Bitcoin now?
Yeah, our team, we have a crypto team. It's actually 4 people that research Bitcoin basically every day. And they think it's going to be over 100,000 by the end of the year, with most of that move coming after Election Day. So it's part of this halving cycle. I think that's not crazy. I mean, Bitcoin is, 58,000. But in the next couple of years, could it be mid 6 figures? Again, it's not a stretch, because the one thing is everybody in this room is above average in wealth, and the banking system works in your favor. If you're not wealthy, if you look at OECD data, the average person spends almost 6 weeks of their salary a year to pay for their bank account. That means they're paying more to use the banking system than they are paying in taxes. So it's really expensive. It's roughly 4% of all global GDP is spent to pay the banking system. It's a huge tax for most people.